University Nationals champion. He was runner-up at the UWW Junior Nationals, and second, obviously, at the U.S. Open in December. Now, Bey defeated Porter a handful of times at the U.S. Open. He also won the Bill Farrell. But he really came out last year at the Dave Schultz, where he finished fourth. So we've seen him now in the scene of Greco-Roman for about a year, and the jumps he's made have been incredible, specifically focusing and honing in on that. And he's really one of Coach Lindland's pupils, wants him to be one of the leaders moving forward in the Greco-Roman division for the United States.
And especially with Andy Bisick done, it looks like we're going to get our first passive here against Bey. With Andy Bisick done, these two, this could very well be your World Team Trials finals at 75. Gordon Spieler's up at 80 kilos today. He might drop.
I wouldn't say Bisick's necessarily completely done. But.
Well, I think he is. Richard's saying otherwise. If he is, I think it's these two guys. Obviously, if Bisick's in the mix, he's most likely going to be in the finals. But if not, these two are quite possibly your future at 75 kilos. We're going to get a high dive attempt from Bey. And you see the familiarity early on. Not a lot of points early. Bey usually by this time has already tried at least a couple throws as we get a passive against Porter. And we're getting close to halfway through this first period here.
Actually, did they go 3 matches out in Vegas?
They did. Porter won the first one. That was the one that was kind of crazy. That was like 15-13.
Right.
And then after that, Bey's won the last 3. And there you see the second passive against Porter. So now 1-0 lead for Bey here in these 75-kilo finals.
I'll tell you what, when it comes down to matches like this where you've wrestled so many times, this is where you find out just how good you are. Technically, especially in Greco, with so few openings, and you got to pounce when you see the opening. When you know what a guy's coming with, it's easy to defend. When you've wrestled someone so many times, it's easier and easier to defend it.
And we're going to get our second passive against Bey. So now Porter leading 1-1 on criteria. If you're looking at home, you're going to see the underline under Jesse Porter's score. So that's going to be your cheat sheet as Bey wanted to go headlock, but they're going to get stopped here. But Bey, kind of, that new wave without the forced parterre, he's one of those guys that it probably favors. Porter's kind of solid in all positions. I wouldn't necessarily say he's as flashy as Bey on his feet, but you don't necessarily need to be flashy in Greco.
No. Well, I'd say Bey's weaknesses lie not on the feet. They lie on the mat.
Right.
But especially that show displayed itself at Junior Worlds. When he wrestled, I believe, the quarterfinals against the Hungarian. His first 2 matches, he just blitzed everyone from the feet. Was flashy, looked like a world beater. And then against the Hungarian, who's very stout from the neutral position, Bey couldn't get a takedown, in the early going at least. And he got behind. He trailed early because he got taken down and gave up some points from the parterre position. So that's really where he needs to make his gains. And wrestling overseas is where he's going to do that, where he gets that experience. But 1-1 at the break, I think that's a win for Porter right now.
Absolutely. And, you were saying with Bey getting that experience overseas, he got to go over to the Clubs Cup, which was right before the non-Olympic weight worlds. Had a very rough first day. Kind of said he maybe ate some bad food. I don't know if that was the case, but he certainly looked like a different animal on the second day. If Porter starts getting those same opportunities, man, this could be a fun rivalry for the coming years. So you're heading back to the second period here. We mentioned Porter's got the 1-1 lead on criteria. Not a lot of attempts, not a lot of high dives or throw or headlock attempts. As Bey coming out here strong, going snap, pushing him around, taking ground. Armsman attempt for Porter. We might get a correct throw here, and we are. So 3-1 lead.
I'll tell you what, that was close to 4. Bey might have exposed on that.
Bey was very close. That's kind of similar to a move I ran on. This was a freestyle match, but Mark Hall last year, last chance Olympic Trials qualifier, I want to say it was against Martinez of Lehigh, kind of saw that exact same thing where he didn't quite expose, but 3-1 now, 40 seconds in here. So I want to know, this is where when I say, these two are possibly the future of the weight class, you look at how's Porter going to hold the lead, how's he going to build on it, how is Kamal Bey going to get back in? We've seen a bunch of arm spin attempts. You were mentioning the technique by Perkins on the redrag, keep his palm down as we get Looks like we are going to get passive confirmed against red. So one more, and Porter's going to have 4-1 lead.
Yeah, and I think, this is where Bey, you're really going to find out about him. This is a match where he's not superior to his opponent, in every way, where he can just come out, 8-0 tech, get a body lock, and go. This is where he's really got to test himself. He's got to get something. And
he went headlock there, but Porter countered it very well. We mentioned his biggest area of growth is on the feet. Porter's got him up in the air, and we might get another correct throw here.
2 blue, please.
So we're going to get a challenge. Went from 3-1 to 7-1. We got a takedown there after he you saw him on that headlock. Porter did what Greco guys are supposed to do, which is catch the hips and keep himself from kind of going right down on a slip. Yep. And then another correct throw when they got brought back up to their feet. Good Lord, Richard, I can't speak right now.
No, but you hit the nail on the head. There's got to be the moment of pause.
Yeah.
Right? You've got to have a moment of pause, sometimes a change in direction. That's what the official's looking for. If it's just a clean down to the mat, it's going to be a slip.
So I don't think this is going to get overturned.
Probably not.
But we're getting...
As I was saying with Bey, when you're down by 2 points in the second period with them, at that point 2 minutes left, he's so used to just throwing everything at the kitchen sink. He tries something here, doesn't work. You've got to pick your spots better is what I'm getting at.
Right.
You've got to really be strategic and know this is what I can hit. I'm not just going to throw a headlock just to throw a headlock, because 90% of the guys are going to go over.
All 4 points are gone.
And all 4 points are gone.
So officials clearly think
now
slip throw wasn't a moment of pause.
Now, what does time go back on the clock there, Richard?
We'll see what they do.
Okay, the first two are gone. I have 5 to 1.
We're trying to listen here to the chairman to see what's going on.
So if that first call was a slip, then the second two shouldn't count.
Right. The jury of appeals confirming the score with the chairman.
Right. So it should be 3-1. And again, so good challenge by Bey's corner, but this is where he has to pick his spot. He's got to have his go-to move, probably a high dive or some sort of outside attempt, duck under, something like that. He's good with the flashy outside moves. Headlock, as we've seen, he's tried it a couple times, probably not going to work.
Porter excellent at catching there as he's going to end up, and almost went Merkel there without the leg did Bey, as he's going to try and go reverse body lock here. So 5-3 lead. You saw the big move. Porter was fighting it off well for about 2-3 seconds. Couldn't quite get there. The torque on that neck.
That was an incredible display of pure strength.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Because his torque was taking him over.
Yeah.
And just the body awareness that contort your body like that, get the lock, and take it the opposite direction, incredible.
And that's, for me, the thing with Bey. Everybody knows Bey is an incredible athlete, but beyond the pure athleticism that people see, it's body control.
Yep.
Insane back arch, right? Yes, you need to be athletic to do that, but you also need to have complete control over everything. Back when I was coaching, I always told my kids, how can you control the other man's body if you can't control your own? So that's what Bey displayed here. Porter not doing a whole lot these last 15 seconds.
Well, and remember, his points have come off Bey's attacks for
the
most part.
So lots of counters for Porter, and he wanted to go headlock, couldn't get it. We're going to go slip, but that's going to end it. So Kamal Bey clutch late with that 4-point, we're going to say side head pinch, Merkel, modify, whatever you want to call it. Let us know what you think it was. But either way, 70.